Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really common problem for anyone starting something new.
That age-old question, right? How do you launch something without, wasting a ton of time and money on an idea nobody actually wants?
Exactly. And our focus today is Eric Ries's The Lean Startup. It's constantly on those must-read lists for entrepreneurs, sold over 1 million copies.
A real game changer for a lot of people.
Definitely. So our mission here is simple. Pull out the key, the most important nuggets from this method for launching businesses, especially when things feel uncertain.
And it really shifted the thinking, didn't it? I mean, Ries introduces these two core ideas that just clicked: the build, measure, learn loop and the minimum viable product, the MVP.
Okay, MVP. We hear that acronym a lot.
We do, and it's not just jargon, it's really a practical guide for founders. It helps you test your riskiest assumptions fast.
Using real customer feedback.
Exactly. Learn from them and then iterate quickly. Make those big mistakes early when they're, cheap to fix.
That's such a departure from the old way, the sort of build it for ages and hope they come approach.
Totally different.
So you mentioned build, measure, learn and the MVP. Let's unpack that. How does this loop actually help founders experiment without, betting the farm?
Okay, so the build, measure, learn loop. It's the engine of iterative experimentation. You take your big vision, right, and you break it down into small, testable ideas, hypotheses.
Like little experiments.
Precisely. Designed to prove or disprove your riskiest assumptions before you pour serious resources in. So think about it. Instead of building a huge, complex social network for a year, maybe your MVP is just a simple landing page.
Just to gauge interest.
Yeah, or maybe a few mock-ups, something small to see if people even want the core idea. That quick check, that's where the real learning happens.
Okay, so the MVP is the build part. Get something out. Then measure and learn. What are we measuring? We need to avoid just looking at vanity metrics, right?
Absolutely, critical point. For measure, Ries emphasizes actionable metrics, not just, say, total downloads that can be misleading.
Vanity metrics, yeah.
Right. Instead, focus on things like, are people sticking around? What's the retention rate? How are they moving through your sign-up process, the conversion funnel? Are they using that key feature you built?
Things that show real engagement.
Exactly. That tells you if your changes are actually making a difference. And that data feeds directly into the learn part. This is where you make strategic decisions. Maybe you need to pivot.
Pivot, another key lean startup term. Is that just changing things randomly?
No, not at all. Ries is specific. A pivot is a structured course correction based on what you've learned. It's designed to test a new fundamental hypothesis about the product, strategy, or engine of growth.
So it's strategic, like realizing a single feature is actually the whole product people want.
That's one type, yeah. The zoom-in pivot. Or maybe you find your product is perfect, but for a completely different group of customers, that's a customer segment pivot.
It's about letting the data guide the direction, rather than just guessing or tweaking minor things.
Precisely. It's informed change, not just change for change's sake. Data-driven knowledge, really.
Okay, it sounds incredibly logical. But how does this play out, in the messy real world? Are entrepreneurs finding this practical toolkit actually useful?
Oh, definitely. You see it discussed all the time on places like Reddit. Entrepreneurs